A Guide to African American Culture, has been documenting the strides of African Americans in every artistic and cultural facet for over 40 years. Visit roots-mag.com to review current and past articles. Roots promotes and preserves our rich legacy for future generations, enlightening and inspiring readers in dance, theater, music, art, photography, education, politics, and more. Roots recalls extraordinary African American innovators who forged roots through various disciplines that were once barred to us, but that we now not only integrate, but dominate. Roots is actively seeking to promote positive projects today to offset the negative effect of these social distancing days. If you would like to share the cultural causes your organization supports in order to inspire and or enlist others, we would love to publish your aspirations and achievements. Please submit your written story with any visual aids to Ron, RONN, at roots-mag.com.
Hi, I'm Perry Gaffney, the author of The Resurrection of Alice, inspired by a true story. Arranged marriages are a tradition that have continued for millennia throughout the world in various cultures. In 2017, a study of the United States revealed that 248,000 children had been married between 2000 and 2010, mostly to adult men. And laws in 23 states do not set a minimum age for a child to marry. Those states' laws are weaker than the child marriage laws in countries like Afghanistan, Honduras, and Malawi. I was appalled when a friend told me about her mother's child marriage until my 87-year-old aunt told me, "Oh, baby, and that happened all the time, and not just in the South. It happened in the North, too." Then she told me about 6 of her friends that were put into arranged marriages in Cleveland, Ohio, when they were young. To purchase my novel, The Resurrection of Alice, previously read on NUNU Radio, visit perrytales.com. That's PERRITALES.com. It's available in paperback or audio version. You may need a resurrection yourself.
Hi, I'm Cleotis Tashire of Tashire Spellbound in East Harlem, inviting you to join me every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Saturdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Acting with Cleotis Tashire. I'll explore with you the tips and processes that I've been teaching students for over 4 decades. You'll be surprised at what you'll learn in just a half hour. So join me here on NUNU Radio at NUNUradio.com, and together we'll bring greater dimension to your dramatic performance.
It's the 21st century. What a world we live in. A crisis here, a crisis there. There are challenges everywhere. You may want to share your thoughts, and you might be surprised to discover that you are in company with like minds. Tune into Analyze This, where we take out time to discuss theater shows, the arts, and artistic events. The panelists on the show share their thoughts on today's social, health, and occasionally political issues. Analyze this on Sundays from 4 o'clock p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you missed the Sunday show, tune into the rebroadcast on Wednesday evenings from 7 o'clock p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on NUNU Radio. Keep your head up and stay grounded.
Flip, for your listening pleasure, can be heard every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on NUNURadio.com. That's NUNU radio.com. You may also listen on our microsite at radio.nunuradio.com. Our email is flip@nunuradio.com. So don't be late. Flip starts on time.
Greetings to all the NUNU Radio listeners. Hope you all are doing splendid. My name is Yahuda Carter, and I am delighted to announce that I have joined the NUNU Radio family with my show, My Vivid Imagination, bringing you original sci-fi, horror, and fantasy stories. The show will be aired Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time and will be hosted by yours truly. If you would like to contact me with any questions or comments concerning the show, my email address is myvividimagination@nunuradio.com. That is myvividimagination@nunuradio.com. I look forward to you all joining me and also hearing from you. Be well, everyone. Bye-bye.
Sule on NUNURadio.com. Thank you for tuning in. We would like to hear from you, and if you have any requests, please contact us at Sule@NUNURadio.com. That's Sule@NUNURadio.com. And I would like to thank Frederick Michaels and Patricia Fields for this continuous support. And I am your host, David V. Brooks. Sule, Sule, Sule.
Hi, I'm Sharon Hope, your host for There's Always Hope, right here on www.nunuradio.com. On Mondays at 2 p.m. and Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we share stories about women. Women we've never heard of, women we seldom talk about, where these women have left their footprints in history for good or for bad. We welcome you as our audience to feel free to share your comments and suggestions at There's Always Hope at NUNURadio.com. And if you feel so inclined, donations to the station are always welcome at www.nunuradio.com. That's www.nunuradio.com. Have a blessed day, and remember, even in the most challenging times, there's always hope.
Hello, NUNU Radio listeners. My name is Gail Wynn Hulenil, and I am happy to announce that I have joined the NUNU Radio family with my show, Time to Be Heard, which will be aired Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The name of the host, who I will be portraying, is Lynn Mia Ear. Get it? Time to Be Heard, Lynn Mia Ear. So again, my show, Time to Be Heard, hosted by Lynn Mia Ear, will be aired Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be covering all types of topics. And if you would like to contact me for whatever reason, my email address is timetobeheard@nunuradio.com. That is timetobeheard@nunuradio.com. I look forward to your joining me and also hearing from you. Be good to yourself. Bye now.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. Magnolia trees at night, sparkling bright. Fields of cotton look wintry white when it's Christmas time down in New Orleans. A barefoot choir in prayer fills the air. Mississippi folks are gathering there when it's Christmas time down in New Orleans. You'll see a Dixieland Santa Claus leading the band to that Creole beat. And golly, what a spirit, you can only hear it down on Basin Street. Your cares will disappear when you hear hallelujah, Saint Nicholas is here. When it's Christmas time down in New Orleans. You'll see a Dixieland Santa Claus leading the band to that Creole beat. And golly, what a spirit, you can only hear it down on Basin Street. Your cares will disappear when you hear hallelujah, Saint Nicholas is here. When it's Christmas time down in New Orleans. When it's Christmas time down in New Orleans. Did you know that your baby boy would someday walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make us new? this child that you delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would calm the storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? When you kiss your little baby, you've kissed the face of God. Mary, did you know? The blind will see, the deaf will hear, the dead will live again. The lame will leap, the dumb will speak, the praises of the Lamb. Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day rule the nations? Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb? The sleeping child you're holding is the great I am. Mary, did you know? Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied with string. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudel, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodle, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel.
Your eyes are still closed, right? No peeking.
I can't see a thing.
Okay, you can open them in a minute. Thanks, brother. Keep the change.
Oh, wow. Thanks, man.
I can't see where I'm stepping.
I'll help you. Careful. Careful. There, that wasn't so hard.
That's easy for you to say.
Have a great night, folks.
Now you can open your eyes.
Oh my gosh! I love this place! I've only been here twice.
When your sister announced she was pregnant and
when my mother announced she was moving down south. You remember?
yes, I do. Shall we? I have a reservation.
Right this way. Here are your menus. Your waiter will be with you momentarily. Enjoy your dinner.
No, I'm pretty sure my sister announced her big surprise at this same table.
Well, you said you loved the harbor view.
You are amazing.
Good evening. My name is Marcus. I'll be your server tonight. Did you get a chance to study our menu?
Do you still have the duck leg confit with the baked sweet potato stuffed with collard greens?
Absolutely.
Make that too, and we'll start with a chilled bottle of your Chateau Montelena Chardonnay.
Excellent choice. Coming right up.
This whole evening feels like a fairy tale.
Kiss any frogs lately? Ribbit, ribbit.
Oh, the wine's here already? That was quick.
Here you are, sir.
Perfect.
Here you are, madame.
Oh, there's something in my glass.
Let me get that with the spoon. So, this is where I dropped it.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Let's see
Oh
if it fits
my
first
gosh.
before you get all excited.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh
Does that mean you'll marry me?
NUNU Radio at radio.nunuradio.com. That's radio.nunuradio.com.
The snow is snowing, the wind is blowing, but I can weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm. I can't remember a worse December. I see those icicles form. What do I care if icicles form? I've got my love to keep me warm. Off with my overcoat, off with my gloves. I don't need an overcoat, I'm burning with love. My heart's on fire, the flame grows higher, and I can weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm?
I'd like to thank you all for listening to NUNU Radio's Pocket of Sound. And please tune into some of our other pockets. Until next time, be blessed. NUNU, leaving a trail where there was no path. NUNU Radio. Good evening and welcome to NUNU Radio's special broadcast. I'm your host, Frederick Michaels. Tonight's presentation of Nzinga's Children is sponsored by NUNU Productions, LMCC, and UMEZ. Without further ado, here is my co-host, Patricia Fields.
Good evening, everyone. We at NUNU Radio are taking this moment to give thanks to the Almighty Creator and the ancestors who have made it possible for us to be alive, to carry out the things that we do from day to day. We are taking this moment to acknowledge the creation of NUNU Radio, a tool that is destined to make its impact on the world in a positive, productive, progressive, and proactive manner. And now, we are happy to present to you NUNU Radio's period drama and radio debut of Nzinga's Children. Act 1. It's nighttime. We see an apartment. The bedroom is modestly furnished and decorated with an African print bedspread, a night table, a bookcase containing books, and some artifacts, and a phone. On the opposite side of the bookcase, there are 2 shelf units which hold wine decanters, glasses, and a plant. Old record albums stand on the floor next to the bookcase. There is also a straight-back chair next to the night table. Hanging on the wall is a tennis racket. To the left of the bedroom, we see a small kitchen. On the upper far side of the kitchen, there is a door which leads to the bathroom. On the lower far side of the kitchen, a small bistro-type table with 2 chairs are positioned as the dining table. The living room area displays a wicker settee with cushions and a wicker end table. The walls are decorated with Don Miller's Mother Africa and Children of Rio Buenos and some other relevant African-American art of the 1980s. A young man in his mid to late 30s is seated in the living room area. His name is Walter. Suddenly, a telephone rings. Walter enters the bedroom to answer it.
Hello? You were supposed to call this afternoon, not now. I can't talk now.
A young woman in her early 30s enters the living room area from the kitchen. Her name is Nzinga. She carries a slice of cake and a glass of milk to the wicker end table and places the food on it.
No.
She carefully cocks an ear towards the bedroom area for a brief moment.
Okay.
And she retreats to the kitchen, returns with a cup of coffee, and sits.
Walter? Walter, who's on the phone?
With his free hand, Walter covers the phone.
I'm coming, baby. Look, suppose I call you back in an hour. Yeah, what's the number?
Walter writes down the number on a scrap of paper and places it in his pocket. He returns to his seat in the living room, where Nzinga is also seated and has been patiently waiting for him.
That's bakery cake. I just can't make dessert on school nights. I hope you don't mind.
No. No. This is fine. Where's yours?
I haven't had much of an appetite lately. Who was on the phone?
Phone. It was Mom. She said hello.
Is everything okay?
Oh, yeah. Just checking on us, that's all.
Well, that's funny. I just spoke to her yesterday. Are you sure there's nothing wrong?
Yeah. I told you everything's okay. Drink your coffee.
So how did the job hunting go today?
Same old 7 and 6. Fill out an application. Don't call us, we'll call you. Nothing new.
This is getting to be a long, drawn-out process, Walter. You mean there was nothing that you could take, not even a laborer's job?
Laborer? Do I look like a laborer to you? No. I don't need no job so bad that I'm gonna start digging ditches.
It beats a blind.
What?
The telephone rings, and Nzinga rises to answer it.
I'll get it.
No, finish your dessert. Hello? Hello?
Nzinga looks at the phone for a brief moment, hangs it up, and returns to the table.
Who was that?
I don't know. They hung up. That's been happening a lot lately.
Yeah, there's a lot of cucks in this world.
While Nzinga is gazing at Walter, Walter finishes his cake, gets up, and takes the dishes to the kitchen.
I've got to get ready for school.
Nzinga goes to the bedroom, sits on the bed, and changes her shoes. Then she picks up her books and purse, goes to the living room, and observes Walter sitting at the dining table, rolling a stack of marijuana joints.
Must you do that?
I plan to spend a quiet evening at home. What else you want me to do? If I was getting dressed to go out, you complain about that.
You could try shaving and clean up the kitchen.
Hey, I ain't no busboy.
I'm no domestic either. I rushed home after work to fix dinner before I went to class. You could at least cooperate.
Nzinga glares at Walter for a brief moment, then pulls out a chair and sits.
Walter, what is going on between us? It never used to be this way. It used to be that whoever got home first fixed dinner.
You're not home too much anymore.
Well, I work every day. Maybe you wouldn't notice if you were working too.
You're not home much at night either.
Walter, that's not fair. I go to school 2 nights a week. I'm trying to educate myself so I can contribute to making the dreams we used to talk about a reality.
Dreams? Sometimes I think you live in a dream, Nzinga. Wake up. Man ain't gonna let us get but so far in this country. He got a master plan for the black man, and the name of the game is genocide. Tired of fighting it. I'm gonna sit back and blow.
While I work.
Hey, ain't nobody making you work. I told you almost 2 years ago that you didn't have to do anything you didn't want to.
I've always wanted to live well. You did too. We always talked about a house full of love, kids, and money in the bank. You used to say we could do anything as long as we pulled together.
That was before the 900 times I was degraded and disregarded trying to follow the rules of white America.
Nzinga suddenly rises from her seat.
Don't give me that white America crap, Walter. You could take any kind of job and not let it be degrading. We could pool our resources. We had something good, baby. Please, let's not let it slip away. We had such dreams.
Yeah, well, I woke up.
Maybe I should wake up when I answer the phone and someone hangs up. Does that mean that the dream is over? Is that what it means when you've been out on interviews all day and come home smelling like perfume? Tell me, Walter.
Nzinga, are you accusing me of something? Now I have to be treated like dirt all day long just trying to get a gig. Instead of being supportive, I get suspicions. I don't need these hassles, Nzinga.
What the hell you say? I don't need hassles either, Walter Peterson. Now you found me in this very same apartment, struggling, and I'm still here and still struggling. Now, after a year and a half, something is wrong.
Yeah, well, maybe something is wrong.
Walter, why don't you get into a training program? I'll help you file for a grant or a loan, anything, just so we're going forward. Don't let yourself slip into the gutter like so many young Black men do.
Do I look like I'm in the gutter to you? Huh? Huh?
Well, you're on your way, whoring around, staying high, and hanging out God knows where all day long. No, you're not in the gutter yet. You're in my apartment, eating my food, watching my TV, listening to my records.
Hey, wait a minute. I brought most of those records with me. And Nzinga, I'm not suited for no white-collar job like your friend, Mr. Siegel. See, he has the skin to match the collar. I had a decent job when I moved in here. I'm not trash, you know. So you're a paralegal. Face it, baby, that's just a step up from a lawyer's secretary. We the same people, baby.
I never said you were trash. I couldn't love trash. I'm just saying that you're dropping out and it's going to lead to trouble. I may be one step up from a secretary now, but I'm moving up. I know about the system. With a college degree, I could only get office temporaries in this city. So I'm going for my master's. Mr. Siegel recommended me for an internship, and the company is paying for part of my tuition. You could find something like that too if you really try, Walter. I thought my being in school would give you some space, but not for what you've been using it for.
You with that white job, your white friend, and now your white education. Did it ever occur to you that you're getting bougie?
Walter casually blows smoke rings towards the ceiling.
Now, why are you trying to upset me? You know that's a lie. Don't lay that kind of crap on me.
And Nzinga suddenly slams her books on the table.
Just because I don't use four-letter words to express myself? Just because I don't punch people on my job in the mouth, I'm bougie? You would never have lost your job 6 months ago if you would have exercised a little self-control, Walter. So don't get mad at me, because I want to be somebody and you've suddenly decided to revert to a teenage stud.
And Nzinga, I want you to know you pressing your luck further than you've ever pressed it before, girl.
And what are you going to do, Walter? Beat me up? That's the only thing you haven't done yet. Well, you just try it, Buster, and you won't need a job. You'll either have one pushing up daisies or making license plates. Oh, mighty warrior, why don't you marry me and take me back to the land of our forefathers? You can just take over and be a chief, and I could pound corn all day with a baby on my back. Grow up, Walter. We live in America. There are more white people here than us. Live with it. It's not my fault, so don't ever try to make me feel guilty again. Mr. Siegel has been an encouragement to me. He even recommended me for my internship to the company upstairs where there was more room for growth. He is white, and you sarcastically call him my friend. I had potential, and no Black person was in a position to help me. I intend to be in that kind of position someday, and I'll help people like you and me. You're trying to shift the blame to cover up what's really going on. In the year and a half that we've lived together, I've never even kissed another man. Can you say the same?
Hell yeah. I haven't kissed another man either.
Yeah, this is all very funny.
He throws back his head, blows more smoke rings.
It's late. I've got to get to class.
With her books and purse, Nzinga slowly walks to the apartment door.
Nzinga, where's your sense of humor?
She exits, quietly closing the door behind her.
Nzinga! Nzinga! Come back here!
Walter starts to get up, then changes his mind. He lights another joint, rubs his hand across his chin, then stubs out the joint.
Maybe I do need a shave. My stuff might be getting a little raggedy. I'm leading losing my image. Guess I better tighten up or I have to hear Nzinga's mouth for days.
He rises and heads to the bathroom. After several minutes, we hear the doorbell. Wearing jeans with no shirt on, a towel around his neck, and lather on his face, Walter steps out of the bathroom to answer the door. Upon opening the door, his neighbor Samantha pushes past him into the apartment. She is wearing a micro mini skirt, a halter, and high-heeled shoes. She is also wearing braids that hang down her back. And in her hand, there is a small, boxy case.
Ding dong! Avon calling.
Samantha quickly looks around the apartment.
Where's Nzinga?
Walter proceeds to clear away the ashtray and other items from the dining table.
Come on, Samantha. You know Nzinga has a class on Wednesday night.
Wednesday. Is this Wednesday? Yeah, I guess it is.
Samantha sets the small boxy case on the dining table and begins walking around the apartment, touching everything in sight.
You're here all by yourself, Walter?
You see anybody else?
Samantha goes and peeks behind the settee and then under the table, almost exposing herself when she bends over. Walter grimaces and shades his eyes.
No, I guess not.
Samantha walks up to Walter and runs her finger down his bare chest.
I've got some goodies in my case just for you.
Look, Nzinga's not here. Now, last week when you wanted to borrow sugar, I gave you a cup. Wednesday before that, when you needed someone to zip you up, I zippered you. Now, it's Wednesday again, but I ain't buying no Avon, because I don't need it. So why don't you come back when Nzinga's home?
I'm just trying to make some extra money since Stanley's not sharing the rent with me anymore. It's tough. I just got my kit today. You don't have to buy anything. Just let me practice my line on you. I haven't tried to sell anything to a man before.
Now I find that hard to believe.
What did you say?
Look, Samantha,
It'll only take a minute. Pretty please.
Okay, you've got 2 minutes.
With his towel, Walter wipes the lather off his face and sits at the dining table. Samantha then opens her case, takes out 1 jar and 3 bottles of different sizes.
Now, these are the newest products in our men's line this season. First, I have an executive aftershave. Walter, you could use some right now.
Walter tries to avoid her as Samantha tries to pat some of the aftershave on his face.
It's not yet after my shave. You interrupted my shave, remember?
If you ask me, I think this would be a big help to you in your quest for upper-level employment. However, I have something that is definitely for you. This is our strong man cologne. It smells good, but not feminine. It's strong and hard, like you.
Think 2 minutes have passed.
But I haven't finished. I'll cut it short and just show you one more item. This bottle contains our vitamin E enriched motion lotion.
Samantha pours a little lotion on her hands, rubs them together, then starts massaging one of Walter's shoulders.
Now tell me that doesn't feel good.
Well,
What you need to do is learn how to relax and explore new opportunities when they arrive.
Walter suddenly rises and slowly walks toward the bathroom.
Look, I'm gonna finish shaving. Slam the door behind you and don't leave any of that junk lying around.
He enters the bathroom and shuts the door.
Well, I'll be. The dude wants to be chased.
Samantha tiptoes into the bedroom. Confirming that it is empty, she slides off her miniskirt and slips under the covers in her bikini panties and halter, all the while smiling. Suddenly, Nzinga opens the apartment door and steps in. She is in heavy thought. She proceeds to put her books and purse on the table, but becomes puzzled after seeing Samantha's case and bottles there. So she puts her purse and books on the settee instead, then slowly walks towards the bedroom. Simultaneously, Walter exits the bathroom and heads straight toward the bedroom. Upon Nzinga entering the bedroom, Samantha sits up in the bed and all three people are surprised.
What
are you doing
going
here?
on in here?
Samantha,
No, I can
what you
see
doing in
what's
my bed,
going
girl?
on. You slut, get out of my bed. I decided to skip school to come home early and be with my man, and I find this. You pig! You low
Nzinga,
down,
I don't
dirty
know what the
pig.
hell is going on. I was shaving.
And just what were you shaving, dog?
Samantha sits there looking from one to the other, wide-eyed.
I never thought you would stoop so low.
Walter, I thought you said Nzinga was in school.
Instantly, Nzinga grabs the racket off the bedroom wall and begins to swing at Walter as he tries to back off.
Nzinga, wait! You gotta listen.
After Samantha jumps out of bed and grabs Walter's arm, he tries to free himself from her. Nzinga drops the racket and rushes to the living room. Walter shoves Samantha away from him.
Out of the way, Samantha.
I didn't mean to cause trouble. I thought you wanted me to follow you, and I only...
With Samantha left in the bedroom, Walter rushes into the living room where Nzinga is standing with her purse in hand.
Walter? If you, your whore, and all your shit aren't out of my apartment by the time I get back, I'm gonna blow everything to kingdom come.
In a rage, Nzinga rushes out of the apartment. Walter rushes to the door and yells out to Nzinga.
Nzinga! Nzinga, where are you? Nzinga! Come back here!
Walter stands at the threshold of the apartment, looking into the hall for a moment. Realizing that Nzinga isn't going to return, he slowly closes the door. Once he hears Samantha entering the living room, carrying her shoes, he turns, walks toward her, and grabs her by the neck.
Okay, Samantha, what the hell kind of setup is this?
It is a couple of days later. Walter is playing the drum furiously. After a moment, he gets up, paces, then to the bedroom, picks up the phone and dials.
Hello, I'd like to speak to Miss Youngblood. She's not at work today either? Well, do you know if she called in? Yes, I'll wait. I see. If she calls or comes in, will you please tell her to get in touch with Mr. Peterson? It's very important. Thank you.
Walter hangs up the phone and dials again.
Hello, Mrs. Gandhi? Oh, Africa. Boy, am I glad it's you. This is Walter. Look, did Nzinga come down there? Do you know if she called or anything? No, don't ask your mother. You'll just get upset. Look, little sister, to be honest, we had a misunderstanding. Missing? No, she's not missing. I'm sure we'll straighten things out. Don't tell your mother I called. Thanks. If you hear from her, please give me a call. Take it easy.
Walter paces the floor again, then picks up the phone again to make another phone call. There is a knock at the door. He hangs up the phone, goes to the door, and opens it. Walter Peterson, this is for you. At the door, a delivery woman hands Walter a manila envelope and leaves.
What is this?
He closes the door, takes the envelope to the table, and opens it.
What? Vacate the premises. This document states that if you come near my client or bother her in any way, you will be subject to arrest? What? I don't believe this. Where the hell is Nzinga? She lost her mind, sicking the man on me?
Walter grabs the phone and dials the number from the letter.
Put Bernie, what's his name, on the phone. I don't care. Get him out of the meeting. Wait a minute. He's David Siegel's lawyer, isn't he? I should have known. Well, if this is what she wants, I'll pack my stuff and leave.
After slamming down the phone, Walter grabs the record albums, 2 shirts, his paraphernalia, and drums.
Gonna find little Miss Bougie and straighten this shit out.
He exits. It is 3 months later. We hear 2 people laughing as they enter the apartment. It is Nzinga and another man.
I told you that you didn't have to come up.
Nonsense. Besides, don't I deserve a nightcap?
All I have is Manischewitz.
That's my favorite. So, you didn't like the play?
I don't find alcoholism amusing. When you've lived with it, you know that it's a disease.
Sorry, I wasn't thinking about your sister's problem. But I do wish you wouldn't take everything so seriously. Smile more often.
Come on, take off your coat and sit down, but just one drink, okay? I've got to get up early tomorrow.
After Nzinga pours the drink, they sit and sip quietly for a moment. Then David reaches across the table and takes Nzinga's hands into his own.
Nzinga, I brought you something.
David pulls out a big envelope from inside his coat pocket. It's a photo of himself.
David. What a nice picture.
I wanted you to get used to having that face around more often.
I didn't need a picture to remind me of you. I'll never forget you.
Nzinga, I want you to meet my family.
Whoa, now, David, you're moving too fast for me. I don't think your family is ready to meet me, or I them for that matter.
I'm 32 years old. My career is well on its way. I want my personal life straightened out.
Well, I'm 25, and there are a lot of things that I still want to do. My career is only just beginning. I want to get my degree. I've grown up since I came here 3 years ago, and I don't want to be fenced in again. Not yet.
I would never try to stop you from doing anything you really wanted to do. I can help you.
David, you have helped me already. But for you, I might still be working temporary jobs all over the city.
You are as smart as a whip. You would have done well whether I helped you or not. Let's just say I had a method to my madness.
When Walter and I broke up, I thought I would die from the pain. I didn't think I'd ever want to see another man.
I'm so sorry for your hurt, sweetheart. But I have to admit it was a break for me. We may never have gotten to really know each other. Besides, you would never have been able to accomplish much with a brawny buck hanging around, demanding all your time.
Black men are not bucks, David. No matter what his faults, Walter was a man.
Nzinga?
With a capital M.
Nzinga, darling, I was only kidding. You're overreacting.
Well, I don't like racial slurs, David. We'll never know each other well enough for that.
Nzinga, I'm not handling this well. I'm sorry. I wanted you to have that picture to get used to my face because, Nzinga, I love you. And I want you to marry me.
David, we never spoke of marriage when this all started. I just assumed that.
Nzinga, I'd let you be your own person. I know you're young and unsure, but when we get married, you can go to school full time. You wouldn't have to struggle. Then I can make your entry into the business world painless. Darling, let me do things for you. We've known each other long enough. Be my wife.
David, then you were my employer, mentor, friend. We've only been socially involved for 3 months.
I've loved you a long time, Nzinga.
David, I can't marry you right now.
Well, when, Nzinga? Let's set a date.
David, I'll always be grateful for you.
Grateful? You think I want gratitude? Here I've been talking about what I want and assuming the nights we spent together at my place meant something to you. What do you want, Nzinga? I'm offering you all I have, and you talk of being grateful? I'd risk my profession, my family, and everything, and you are grateful.
Now just hold it, David. This affair we've been having has been a risk for me too. I have a family. In fact, the whole Black race is my family, and I'm talking about 23 million people in the United States alone. Not to mention my ancestors that must be twirling in their graves. So don't tell me how brave you're being for this Black girl. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen.
You're irrational. I won't talk to you when you're like this. I'm going home. We'll talk about this tomorrow in the cold reality of daylight. I'll see you at lunchtime.
David picks up his coat.
Maybe not. Maybe I'll have lunch with some brawny buck.
Good night, Nzinga.
David exits, closing the door quietly, while Nzinga stands, observing him. After a brief moment, she goes to the bedroom, takes off her shoes and earrings. Then she returns to the living room, gets David's picture off the table, gets Walter's picture out of the dresser drawer, and holds the two pictures side by side. Finally, she removes Walter's picture out of the frame and puts in David's picture. She places Walter's picture in the drawer under some clothes and sets David's framed picture on the night table. Suddenly, the phone rings.
Hello? David. I'm sorry too. I'll make it up to you this weekend. I promise. Okay, I'll give it some serious thought. I'll even go shopping for a meeting David's family dress. Okay, me too. Night, David.
Nzinga replaces the phone on the receiver. She takes off her clothes and put on a nightshirt, brandishing the word me in large print. Then she picks up the phone again and dials.
Africa? Yes. Hey, how you doing, sis? Are you alone? Oh, wow, I'm so glad. Just take it slow. School can be fun. Yes, you can do it. Look, sis, are you sober? I'm not being nasty. It's just that I gotta talk to somebody, and I'd like to know that you'll know what I'm saying. Okay. I've got an opportunity that never even entered my mind. It's crazy. But then again, maybe it's fate. First of all, how do you feel about white people lately?
It's in the middle of the night. In the darkness, we see smoke slowly appearing out of nowhere in young Nzinga's bedroom. Nzinga is having a bad dream as she is tossing, turning, and waving her arms. Then we hear the sounds of bells and whistles. We see images. At first, the images are faint, but little by little, they become more pronounced until we discern that the images are those of elderly women, the images of elderly Black women. Each woman is dressed according to the era or period in American history in which she once lived. These 5 women are the successive grandmothers of young Nzinga. A brightness slowly emerges in the bedroom.
Where is Grandmother Nzinga and Miranda?
Grandmothers Old Nzinga and Miranda appear.
We're coming, Elizabeth. I think you must get up before the dawn just so you can hurry the sun.
You sleeping, girl?
Young Nzinga is frightened out of her fretful sleep and falls out of bed to the floor.
What? Who's there? Who the hell are you? And how did you get in here?
We don't want to frighten her. Come closer, y'all.
4 of the 5 grandmothers move closer toward the bed. We see them in clear view. However, there is another grandmother who is positioned in a corner of the room, almost as if out of eye's view. She almost appears to be a sentinel. She is Grandmother Nzinga. Grandmother Elizabeth reaches to touch young Nzinga.
Don't be afraid, sweetheart. We've only come to talk to you.
Grandmother Miranda stops Grandmother Elizabeth with her parasol.
Don't touch her, Elizabeth. There are rules about physical contact.
Young Nzinga rises from the floor and sits on the bed.
Grandmother? Grandmother, is that you? Well, no, it couldn't be. Why, you died when I was 5 years old. But it is you. I can never forget you. Oh, Grandmother, you don't know how many times I've wished for you.
Yes, I do, child. That's why we're here. You need us.
Well, that's not the only reason. We're here to remind you that first and foremost, you're a lady. You seem to have forgotten that. Playing that game you call racquetball, getting all sweaty, and going out after dark. You should be ashamed.
Oh, hush, Randa. Don't go putting on airs. Don't pay her no mind, child. I'm her mama, Ludi Mae. In my days, wasn't no men's or women's game. The only game was cotton, and we played it from sunrise to sunset every day, except Sunday. Now we come 'cause you ours, girl. We come 'cause we can't rest watching all what's going on here.
But how did you all get here? Who are all of you?
We're your ancestral grandmothers. An alarm went off from here. Oh, such a noise.
It happens when a soul is in need of a deliverer to show the way.
We knew a deliverer if they saw one.
We just want to keep traditions going. Just wondered if you were going to try and do your part.
My part? What part is that?
Propagating is what they're talking about. They want to know when you're going to marry and have a family.
Yeah, and stop all this horsing around.
Not propagating. Nation savings is what we talking about.
You expect me to save a whole nation by having a baby?
It's not funny, girl. We all did, lest they wouldn't be no you.
Grandmother Miranda stomps her foot and points her parasol to the photo of David on the dining table.
It certainly is not funny. And all of this cohabitating with other races has got to stop.
Now, just a minute. Who the hell do you think you are, barging in here, talking about stuff you don't know?
Miranda instantly covers her ears and hides behind her mother, Ludi Mae.
Oh, profanity? Profanity. I can't stand it.
It never hurts to respect your elders.
Honor thy father and thy mother, so thou days may be.
Girl, can't you ever hush?
The word has been given that a deliverer will be born out of the downtrodden. Perhaps it will be the fruit of our seed. Maybe at long last, our prayers will be answered.
I don't believe this. What makes you think my child would be this deliverer? Anyway, the human race is going to blow itself up any minute now with nuclear war.
Do not worry about war. We know for a fact that the human race will get another chance. Some people will survive to change history and the world as we now know it.
Grandmother, could this really be possible?
Grandmother Miranda points her parasol at the photo of David again.
Not if you and Wavy Davy have young'uns. The deliverer could never come from such a union.
Who is she again, grandmother? The one with the mouth and the parasol? I don't like her.
She's my grandmother, Miranda.
I don't like you either, but I take care of my obligations. Now, we were given a chance to give you a chance for salvation. So you just better pay attention, Miss Smarty Pants.
Young Nzinga jumps off the bed and stands in defiance against her great-great-grandmother Miranda.
I'm not afraid. You can't be my grandmother, not the way you act. You're not even real.
Just as Grandmother Elizabeth steps between young Nzinga and Grandmother Miranda, Grandmother Nzinga reacts.
Now just hold down. Elizabeth and Miranda.
Immediately, everyone freezes. With her wooden staff, Grandmother Nzinga slowly moves out of the bedroom corner and walks to the tail end of the bed. She points to Miranda and young Nzinga, compelling both women to step aside and move further back.
Back off, I say. Back off. Do you think I come all this way to stir my peace to win this bickering? No, I did not. Now take care of the business we came here for, or I'm leaving.
Grandmother Nzinga slowly retreats to her original position of the bedroom.
I am Elizabeth Robinson, your first grandmother. I am your father's mother. I don't know how much you remember about me, but I was a minister in my day.
I remember.
I tried to enlighten our people, make them understand that in unity there is strength. I may have helped some, but I was a colored woman. In the first part of the 20th century, there was opposition and hatred towards women and coloreds. It came at me from all sides. Some of the men in the family even objected to me preaching and teaching. Then you, baby young Nzinga, was born, and I watched you begin to grow. I knew then that you were meant for special things. I lived through the race riots in Harlem. I sang Tommy Dorset spirituals before the notes were dry on the paper. I also warned your father about going to those meetings that Marcus Garvey and his rabble-rousers were always having. Garvey was a man who wanted all our people to go back to Africa. It was much later when I realized that the man had a good point. Now, the time has come for your participation in the legacy that is your destiny.
I can't believe this is happening.
Nzinga, my name is Layla. One thing I was brought up to respect was education. I was one of the few girls in my town to complete school. My mother and stepfather worked hard to send me to an all-girls school. Then I had training in economical entertaining.
We insisted on it. We raised a gentlewoman, not like these hussies of today.
I done had about enough out of you. Baby, economical entertaining was catering fancy affairs for white folk, making little sandwiches they call finger food.
My child was boss over those others.
Mama, I can speak for myself. The point is that I'm glad to see that you are interested in learning. I'm really proud of you.
You are? Why, thank you, Grandmother Layla.
Young Nzinga stops for a brief moment, looks up at the ceiling, and remarks,
Oh, God. Am I going crazy? Talking to spirits?
The fact is, there are other considerations. I always did what was expected of me. I did not give my family any trouble. Well,
Grandmother Layla suddenly smiles absently and peeks over at her mother, Grandmother Miranda.
I did like to dance, and Mama didn't want me to. Up at school, all the girls danced the black bottom and the shimmy. Some folks called it disgraceful, but we loved those dances. Sometimes the boys who did busing and dishwasher work over the big hotel in town would come over and we would sneak out and meet them in the dairy. Oh, those cows thought we were crazy. One girl had a wind-up Victrola. The floor in that dairy was hard-packed dirt. But when we finished stomping around in there, it was like a dust storm in that dairy. Wish I could shimmy like my sister Kate. That girl shakes like jelly on a plate.
Grandmother Miranda rushes over to her daughter Layla and swats her on the backside with her parasol.
Well, I never. I thought you were such a sweet child.
Everyone is laughing as Grandmother Miranda is returning to her position and Grandmother Layla regains her dignified composure.
The fact is that I did my best. I learned a craft and was a credit to my family. I brought your grandmother and her brother Gilbert into this world.
No need to mention Gilbert. Good for nothing. Put him and Nzinga's sister Africa in a bag. Don't know who'd fall out first.
Well, I'm Miranda.
So I've heard.
Massa was my daddy, but I'm not proud of it. It's just a fact. Only thing he ever said to me was, Miranda, you got to wear shoes and learn to read. You ain't no ordinary darky. When I die, you and Ludi gonna be free. I prayed every day after that for his death. He died when I was 16 years old. Thank God me and Mama was free. First thing I did was go down to the quarters where the slaves were. Massa never allowed me down there. I met Black Benny. His father was a blacksmith and Benny was learning the trade. He was the blackest boy I had ever seen. So smooth, so handsome, so strong.
Till you up and changed him.
Only for his own good, grandmother.
Don't sass me.
I'm sorry, grandmother. I told him I was freed that day. Well, he grabbed me by the waist and danced me all around that yard. Then he taught me to ham bone. Isn't that something? I picked it up just like that. Black Benny said, girl, you might look white, but you must be black on the inside, 'cause you can ham bone almost as good as me.
Grandmothers Elizabeth, Layla, and Ludi may laugh. Not being the least bit impressed, young Nzinga lets out a loud sigh.
You all think I can't do it. Watch me.
Grandmother Miranda places one foot on the bedroom chair and begins to ham bone, using her hands to demonstrate rhythmic movements against her raised knee. She does this quite poorly.
Ham bone, listen to me. Massa done set, Randa free. One sweet song keeps singing in my head. Randa's free, Massa is dead.
Reckon we can find Black Benny to give her some more lessons.
Well, I married Black Benny and taught him to read. We worked hard sharecropping until Mama passed on. Then we moved north to Maryland, and Layla was born. It was 1874. Some folks said Black Benny had forgot his place. And some of those Maryland crackers caught my Benny one night and tried to hang him. But he was a strong man. He beat up a couple of them and got away. He ran home long enough to grab a few things and tell me to head north with Layla. He said if he lived, he'd find us. Our friends helped me and Layla get to Philadelphia. Layla was 7 years old. When she was 12, I married Avery. He was from the islands. But I never saw Black Benny again. I'll always love Black Benny, even through eternity.
Child always was our actress. Should have been on the stage with the minstrels.
I've read about slavery times, but they never seemed as real to me as now. I know, your grandmother Ludi Mae. Were you a slave?
Yes, God, a slave of the body and the soul, baby. I was born on the Thomas plantation. Worked the fields aside Mama till I was 12. Then I was sent up to the big house to help our old cook in the kitchen. By the time I come 14, Mama had passed on. Mama was always sassing and bashing folk and getting with it. Long as she lived, nobody messed with me. After Mama was gone, young master started hanging around the kitchen. Now, he was about 24 years old. Now, y'all all know that too old to be messing with me, being only 14. Well, he dragged me behind the steps one day. Boy, I wrestled him good and got away. After that, I had to be watching out for him all the time. Old cooks say he was a fairy, but I know different. He caught me going to the smokehouse one day, and no wrestling could get me away. After that, I was so sick and lonely without Mama. I just gave up. Hated that smokehouse, 'cause couldn't eat ham nor bacon till the day I died, remembering that place.
Oh, Grandmother Ludi, that was horrible.
It was rape, pure and simple. It's the thing men does when they can't overpower your mind no other way.
It's an abomination.
It's a sin against God.
And we've all endured it, in and out of wedlock.
But anyway, the fool goes and get himself shot over another man. Well, old master tried to hush it up. Then he found out I was with child by young master, and he make me move up to the big house. When Randa was born, she was so pale and little. Mama, I know you told me to destroy any babies those white ones forced on me, but I just couldn't. Oh, Master come downstairs and look at Randa. He tell me, keep her away from the other slaves, and when he die, we be free. Well, he took a long time doing that. He died in 1861, and the emancipation writ in 62. But them crackers wouldn't let the slaves free till the Yankees burned the South down. Plenty of them run off, though.
Mama, get on with the story.
Well, old Master buy Randa ruffled dresses and tell folk she his grandbaby. Old Cook said to cover up his son was a fairy. Well, I don't care about the reason. I just be at peace cooking and taking care of Randa. Now, I want you to be at peace, Nzinga.
I'm trying to, Grandmother Ludi.
I can't do no more than your best, baby. That's what I always did.
Grandmother Ludi May smiles as she and young Nzinga reach out for each other to embrace.
Don't touch her, Mama.
Now that you know some of your past, will you try to work harder on your future?
You need to take off that me shirt and put on a we shirt. Time is passing, and in 25 years, you haven't done nothing worth talking about except enjoy yourself. Just looking in the mirror and primping. That must come from your mother's side, because our family was not vain. Young Nzinga was raised in the Baptist church. Then she goes off to college and gets involved with those Muslim people.
Tread lightly, Pinky. You're talking stuff you don't know nothing about.
But grandmother, Nzinga doesn't respect her ancestors.
Mama, you taught me that respect must be earned. Perhaps we didn't leave enough of a pattern.
Then that's your daughter Elizabeth's fault.
She died when I was 5, Grandmother Miranda. What did you want her to do? You're so smug and so phony with that parasol.
You don't even respect God. Sleeping with this one and that one.
Religion is in the heart, Grandmother. Church is in the soul. God dwells within each of us. So you leave my child alone.
Our child, Elizabeth. She belonged to us all.
We know that, Mama. And I'm trying to help. I still don't much like her.
Maybe you don't like her because she has sassy ways just like you always had when you wore ruffles and the other slaves wore rags.
Now, Mama, you know I didn't allow Randa no sassness. If you don't like this here child, then that just tough on you, Randa. Tough Titty broke the baby's tooth. Now, if you an ancestor, flounce your bustle out the way and act like one. A silent one.
Ludi, you never could control her. You know why?
Mama, I don't want to hear that no more.
The problem here is young Nzinga, not me. She has it all, an education and everything. But no, she doesn't want to stop having fun to take care of the business of survival. Why, I've seen her going to meetings with Miss Ann, talking about women's rights. What about the right to be free for Black folks?
Stop it. Damn it, stop. You think I've been having fun? Do you know this is a different time, a complicated time that none of you ever lived in and could never have dreamed of? I spend my life trying to balance what is right against progress. My generation is torn in a million directions. I try to be loyal to my people, but they betray me on every turn. You come here uninvited, fussing, and condemning me when you don't even know about my life. Do you care how I feel? Well, let me tell you. Your beloved son, my father, was a chauvinist. I loved him, but like Grandmother Miranda says, I didn't much like him. My mother waited on him hand and foot. She made so much chicken and dumplings till she became a dumpling herself. No purpose, no drive. She lived to serve. Then he up and dies before I can even finish high school. Did he leave me anything to start a life with? No.
Now, Nzinga.
All he left me and mother was alone. For that matter, what did any of you leave? Did any of you leave something for me to build on? Not even an accurate history or a record so that I could know who I was. Did any of you leave one penny? Where is this legacy you speak of? It's non-existent, just like you are.
All grandmothers take a step back, except old Nzinga. Young Nzinga ignores their reaction.
I had to work my way through college. I got a partial scholarship, but mother worked a full and a part-time job to help me have a better life than she had. And I sure as hell intend to. Where were you when I was scraping dirty plates in the cafeteria and scrubbing toilets? When I was up nights doing papers and tutoring on weekends? You think that was fun, Grandmother Miranda? Why weren't you peeking down from heaven or wherever the hell you came from when I needed help? Dan was the one who came, not you. He married mother and accepted me and Africa as his own daughters. I graduated with honors. Nobody did it for me. Did you come when Africa was becoming an alcoholic? Or when I moved here and was so sick and lonely that I almost became one myself?
That poor baby.
I survived, Grandmother, with diet, meditation, and exercise. I met Walter, and we fell in love. And he lived here for over a year.
Grandmother Miranda starts to make a remark, but the other grandmothers stare her down.
That's a very typical heartbreak that many of us share, Nzinga.
Well, nobody was here to tell me how typical it was at the time, Grandmother Layla. David picked up the pieces. Still so lonely sometimes, even with David. I've paid dues in spite of what you might think. I'm sorry David is white, but he loves me. He will take care of me and see that I'm provided for. That's more than any of you ever had. It's my life and my decision. It's what's known as progress.
Oh.
Oh?
Oh. We are the ones who bore the pain.
We are the ones who sweat and strain.
We are the ones who pulled the plow. Girl, the debt is on you now.
Nobody came and dried our tears.
Our lives drained away with the years.
Do you expect our sympathy?
And they named this spineless piece of work after me?
Now, just a minute. Cut that out. I know my worth. I've worked hard on my self-image, and I'm not about to let a bunch of spooks bring me down.
All grandmothers except Elizabeth advance slowly toward young Nzinga. Young Nzinga quickly jumps into the bed and pulls the covers over her head.
For this we died. For this we cried.
Elizabeth removes the covers from young Nzinga.
Now wait. This is a good girl. She doesn't use drugs and she works hard. She honors her parents.
Parents? What about us?
She sleeps with men without benefit of wedlock.
Many people had to jump the broom in my day. No such thing as wedlock for slaves.
Yes, But today she has choices.
Choices? What choice did I have? A 7-year-old girl I was when they grabbed me, put me on that ship. It was dank. It was so dark. My mama and daddy gone, just like smoke. Nobody was speaking Kakonga, and I couldn't understand anything. Those white ones, they tried to put bracelets with chain on my wrist, but I was too little. So they tied me with a rope. Tied with a rope in that dark hole. Sometimes for days at a time, I would lie my own pee and waste until they pulled us out and threw water on us. Made us run around that boat too. A lot of folks jumped over. I was too little. Finally, they got a pen. You know the kind of pen they keep animals in? Well, they put me and about a dozen more little ones in it on top, outside the hole. That ways we could see the sun in the daytime. But at night, it was blacker than black on that water. When it rained, we just got soaked. The food wasn't fit for dogs. No yams, no fruit, just a white lumpy mesh. If you don't eat, after a while they hold you and force it down your throat. I lived and grew up. I made the few choices that I could. One was to give birth to Ludi by a black man. I drowned the mothers. Yes, just like kittens with their pale skins. I hoped and prayed to God that you'd rise up one day and pay them back for what they done.
Grandmother Nzinga rips off her blouse and bares her back, which has ugly scars from the whip. The other grandmothers gasp, sink to their knees, and weep.
Oh, Mother, we're sorry.
Oh, Mama. Oh, Mama.
Mother,
we're sorry.
We're sorry.
Young Nzinga covers her face.
Nzinga, the loneliness you feel is for your people, for your own kind. In the wilderness of North America, we have all shared your desolation and longing. Your only relief and satisfaction will be the bonding with another of your kind and the birthing and rearing of little black babies who continue to be the hope for tomorrow. You will have financial safety with David, but my heart cries for you and yet another loss. Our people will suffer if you too desert us. The yearning for your own will last for the rest of your life. It seems that more than enough has been said here tonight. We came to accomplish a mission, and we've all failed. None of us has done enough in her lifetime. And now you expect it all from this child? Leave her be. Come on away from this place and bring your guilt with you.
The grandmothers slowly exit the bedroom, only to return from whence they came. Young Nzinga gets out of bed.
Wait, There are some things I want to ask. Wait!
She tries to grab Grandmother Elizabeth, but is unsuccessful in doing so. In an instant, the grandmothers are gone.
Sometimes
it is the next evening.
Like a mother.
Young Nzinga is in the bathroom, singing.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child.
There is a knock at the door, but young Nzinga sings on.
Ooh, like a motherless child.
There are two more, but young Nzinga doesn't hear them. Finally, the door opens and a man enters. It's Walter. He is wearing a dashiki, jeans, sandals, and a kufi.
Nzinga? Nzinga?
Realizing that Nzinga is not aware of his entry into the apartment, he takes his wrapped gift and hides it beneath the settee cushion. Then he takes a bottle of wine, which he also brought, goes into the kitchen, and takes out 2 wine glasses from the cupboard. In doing so, he makes a sudden noise with the glasses. Immediately, Nzinga stops singing and enters the living room wearing a caftan.
What was that?
Walter tiptoes out of the kitchen into the living room with 2 glasses and a bottle of wine. Nzinga turns to see Walter standing behind her.
Hey, sweet queen of the Nile.
Man, you scared me to death. What are you doing here?
Been missing you. Thought I'd drop by.
And let yourself in? I asked you for my key a long time ago.
Tell the truth, I forgot that I had it until I knocked and got no answer.
I kept meaning to have that lock changed.
Come have some wine with me, for old time's sake.
Walter pours the wine into the 2 glasses, then hands one to Nzinga.
So, what have you been up to, Walter? You look real nice.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing rather nicely by your standards. Guess what I brought today?
I can't imagine.
A tie. A black-on-black striped tie.
Oh?
You know why I need a new black-on-black tie?
No. Why?
For my new tie and collar job. I'll be starting on the 15th.
You're kidding. Oh, Walter, that's wonderful. See, I knew you could do it. Tell me about the job.
It can wait. Are you still seeing what's his name?
If you mean David, yes. How's Mama Peterson?
Huh? Oh, she's okay. Asks about you all the time. She can't get it through her head that we're not together anymore.
Well, please tell her that I still love her and always will.
Walter lights a joint.
So, when are you taking a vacation?
I haven't decided. This year I'd like to go on a retreat or something like that.
You be the monastery or something? Or you becoming religious?
No monastery, just a peaceful place where I can be alone and think.
Why? Is something on your mind?
Yeah, kind of. Everybody needs to reassess from time to time, sort things out.
Uh-oh. Last time you sorted things out, I was one of them. Does that mean there's trouble in paradise?
There is something I'd like to talk to you about. I haven't told a soul about this. And if you laugh at me, I'll never speak to you again in life.
Hey, baby. This sounds serious. Have I ever laughed at you about anything serious before?
Yes. Once.
And I'm still paying for it, too.
Nzinga takes the joint from Walter and stuffs it out in an ashtray.
I had a dream last night about my grandmothers.
Did you play their house numbers?
Don't be funny. It wasn't like that. It was more like a vision. I mean, they talked to me in the bedroom.
Did you ask them what number to play?
Now, here I am trying to be serious, and you...
Sit down, baby. I'm listening.
Well, there were 5 of them.
Say what?
Each one of them told me a little about her life and how she gave birth to the next one. They had on old-fashioned clothes, and they said it was my turn to do something for the family.
What do they want you to do?
They believe that my child will be a savior.
What child?
The one that they want me to get married and have.
Oh, now I see. Could be that you're having a little attack of conscience, or maybe you're worried about it getting late on your biological clock.
No, it's nothing like that. I saw them. I talked to them. I saw the whip marks on Grandmother Nzinga's back.
Grandmother Nzinga?
Yes, I must have been named for her. My father said Nzinga meant beautiful, and he named me after an African queen that he saw in a dream. But she was here last night, Walter, here in my room.
Okay, I believe you. Were you afraid?
Well, some. But my grandmother, that I knew when I was a little girl, Elizabeth Robinson, she was there and made everybody be nice to me.
Did you talk to your mother or sister about it?
Mother is so busy with Dan. I hate to bother her. Africa is trying to straighten her own life out.
So what do you think it all means?
I'm not sure. I just wanted to tell somebody, just in case something happens to me. Somebody I trust will know about it.
Nothing is going to happen. You still trust me?
Well, about some things. I've never been as close to anyone as I've been to you. So I guess.
Walter pulls Nzinga into his arms as she lays her head on his shoulder.
You know, baby, you weren't meant to live alone. It's probably getting to you. This might mean that your grandmothers want you under the protection of a strong man, like when I was living here.
Oh, no. They didn't like us sleeping together and not being married, especially Miranda. I'll never forget her. I'll never forget any of them.
Well, if they was mad about that, what did they say about Tricky Dick?
He's not Tricky Dick. His name is Wavy Davy.
Nzinga quickly pulls away from Walter and covers her mouth, astonished at her own words.
I mean, his name is David. He has a respectable job and he loves me.
Hey, so do I, baby. Come here, let me show you how much.
They struggle as Walter tries to kiss Nzinga while placing his hand inside her robe, compelling Nzinga to slap him.
Bastard! That's all you think about. I thought you might have changed. I thought just for one stupid moment that you were my friend. Your life's ambition has always been to hop in the sack with the nearest female. Outside of all the crap that went down, I still thought you were basically decent. But you're just the same.
Why I gotta be a bastard? Just because I wanted to touch you? We did used to sleep together. It ain't nothing new to me. You call the other son of a bitch a bastard when he touched you? Huh?
Look, Walter, it's obvious we can't talk anymore. Please leave my apartment.
Those karate classes you've been taking got you feeling so good, you think you can make me? Huh? Or are you gonna get the gun and shoot me down? Huh, Nzinga? Are you gonna shoot the black boy down?
I've got an appointment. I'm going to get dressed. When I come back out here, I want you gone and my key on the table. Is that clear, Walter Peterson?
Nzinga rushes inside the bathroom.
It's all clear. Everything is clear, bitch. You're clear. I can see right through you and there ain't a damn thing inside but a calculator, adding up every dude's paycheck, balancing it against his Peter to see what's the longest. Well, I may be short in the payroll department right now, but I bet your David ain't no Goliath either. Damn you, Nzinga, damn you. I didn't come here for this shit. I came here to show you my goddamn black on black tie and tell you about my damn tie-wearing job that you was always telling me I needed. Just because I wanted to touch you, hold you. I took this crummy job just hoping to patch things up with you. Assistant manager in some fast food joint? Playing big brother to some pimply-faced teenagers? Just so I could wear a tie and have a title? Who the hell do you think you are anyway? Talking all that dream stuff. Just trying to get me to marry you, that's all. Forget it. Ain't no chick trapping this dude, no way. Well, to be honest, Nzinga wouldn't do nothing like that. So what was all the ghost stories about if she didn't want me to make love to her? I just don't understand women. And then she goes and takes up with the white knight. Just because you want to live in school with white folks, I don't feel like going to school. I'm in a training program for this stupid-ass tie-wearing job right now. Why can't you accept me the way I am? The way I was when you met me? Yeah, believe it, I don't even go in bookstores. Went and bought her a present too. It's really over. I didn't want to face it. I was going to take her back even after.
As Walter continues to rant and rave, the grandmothers appear. It is apparent that he cannot see or hear them.
Look what she's doing to that boy. He'd be a good father to her child.
Come on, grandmother. He doesn't want to marry young Nzinga. Just use her.
What was that he was smoking? Does he use drugs?
All this a humming and a hawing. Why don't these folks get on with it? It'll all be over in a minute, and they waste it all acting a fool. Why don't they grow up?
Maybe I better grow up. Nzinga don't want me no more.
Grandmother, he must have heard you. I think we should leave.
Nzinga wants too much. She wants things I just can't give.
You mean too lazy to give?
It's not that I'm lazy. I'm just a man's man. I can't stand no tie and collar. I like to be outdoors working with my hands.
Wonder how he would have enjoyed picking cotton with them hands.
Poor sorry excuse for a man. I seen Shaka, one of his grandfathers, apply for a whole year. Cause Shaka had to be free. And he was planning. After 1 year, Shaka, his woman, and both his babies run off. Plain to see, ain't no planning. Or Shaka left in that one.
And ain't no old Nzinga left in her either.
And how much is in you, grandmother?
The man takes everything. The best jobs, houses. Why he even took us. Now he got my woman. I ought to find the wimpy bastard and kick his tail.
What he really needs to find is himself. Ugh.
I'll show her. I'm going to show them all. There's going to be a new day and this black man is going to own something. And when Miss Nzinga, Ethiopian princess, wants something from me, I'll smile and turn her down hard.
Walter pulls the wrapped gift from beneath the settee's cushion and slams it on the table. He drops her key on the table and exits. Upon the slamming of the front door, Nzinga comes out of the bathroom, dressed to go out. She sees the wrapped book on the table, picks it up, and holds it to her chest.
Oh, Walter.
There is some interesting stuff going on in this apartment, and indeed with this couple. I'm almost jealous of Nzinga. I mean, how often does anyone get a visit from his or her 5 consecutive grandmothers in the middle of the night to share their history and impart an important message. A message, nonetheless, that will impact your choices for the rest of your days on this earth. How often are we not only influenced by the tangible and or visible forces and entities, but also by the forces and or entities that we cannot touch or see? If you're just living life from day to day, you discover, learn, or simply know that not every choice that you make is solely your own. In this story, Nzinga has been influenced directly, whereas Walter has been influenced indirectly. What choices will these two people be influenced to make? Right now, neither of these two people can see the future, but how strong is their faith in the future? How soon will they understand that whatever choices they make for themselves in the here and now will have a definite impact on other human beings in the future? Let's find out. But before we do, let's have a brief intermission, during which time we will share some information about the late Veona Thomas, the playwright of the period drama Nzinga's Children. Veona Thomas was born on December 19, 1945, in Harlem, New York. As a child, Thomas' family moved to New Jersey, where she resided until her transition or earthly passing on February 25th, 2016, at the age of 70. Thomas graduated magna cum laude at Lehman College in the Bronx in New York, earning a bachelor's degree in Black Studies and Education with special studies in theater. She made the Dean's List, received an award for academic excellence in the Department of Black Studies, and received an award to Maulana Shuja Honor Society. Her experience as an educator included adjunct instructor at William Patterson College in Wayne, New Jersey for 5 summer sessions, and a substitute teacher in all levels in Hackensack and Patterson public schools in New Jersey. A teacher, playwright, director, and griot storyteller, Veona Thomas wrote more than 30 plays and was the founder and director of Rajodi Productions. Through this production, she staged plays written by her and other playwrights at the auditorium of St. Paul's Church in Teaneck, New Jersey, where she was playwright in residence. She conducted readings, workshops, and was a member of the Uptown Playwrights Workshop for many years, through which she had her plays read, as well as provided helpful critique to other playwrights and actors. Some of her hit plays were A Watch on Martin Luther King, Heaven Sent, and of course, Nzinga's Children. Some of her other plays were performed at other venues, such as The Diva and the Rapper, at the American Theater for Actors here in New York City. Tuesday is No Man's Land, performed by Red Hen Productions in Cleveland, Ohio. And A Special Sound, performed at the River Writers at Ensemble Studio Theaters and the Producers Club, both in New York City. Nzinga's Children was performed at National Black Theater in New York and Passaic County College in Paterson, New Jersey. As a griot, Thomas' storytelling performances included multicultural folk tales from Africa, the Caribbean, and all around the world. The tales had moral, educational, spiritual, and entertainment value, and they were performed at schools, libraries, and senior facilities throughout the New Jersey and New York metro area. Thomas was known for helping novice actors as well as playwrights in the development of their skills, giving them the opportunity to perform in acting and reading of plays of different genres. She is the writer of the book Different Kinds of Fathers, which is about the kind of Harlem families that once existed but was seldom written about. She also wrote A Special Sound of Freedom, which was dedicated to the ancestors who survived slavery and dreamed of us having a better life. Today, this NUNU radio presentation is a dedication to both Veona Thomas and the ancestors. Thank you for listening. And now, the conclusion of Nzinga's Children. Act 2. David and young Nzinga entered the apartment. She is furious. She takes off her coat and throws it on the settee. David is carrying a bucket of fried chicken.
What's wrong with you? You could have shown more sophistication and just politely refused.
What do you mean? You take me to a party of upper echelon wimps who control a lot of common people's destiny, and those bastards tried to get me to snort cocaine.
They wanted you to unwind and enjoy yourself.
You know I don't do drugs. Why'd you take me there? Then they want to show a porno flick.
I didn't know about the movie, Nzinga. I've seen that film, though, and I don't think it exploits women.
Damn it, David! I didn't want to sit around a bunch of panting, strange white men.
You're getting much too excited.
Did you think I'd want to be around a bunch of white men and their bleached whores who sniff dope and get off on skin flicks?
It wasn't that bad.
Don't tell me. The next game those rednecks would have wanted to play would have been switching partners.
Nzinga, I wouldn't have let it go that far, but those were business associates. You could have been polite. I suppose your former roommate was lily white and never dabbled in anything stronger than orange juice.
Think again, David. You're the first lily white thing in my life. And my former roommate, as you call him, never exposed me to people who were beneath me. He would have killed any man who was as suggestive to me as those clowns were tonight.
All brawn and no brains, Nzinga. Some of your so-called brothers are always rapping and playing the guerrilla game, and it mostly comes to a few Saturday night stabbings. We use our minds and save lives. It's the one who has the expertise and the financial clout that becomes king of the hill. That's the kind of league you belong in, and that's the kind of people we'll be socializing with from time to time. You'll have to learn to become a gracious hostess.
I see. I finally understand. You'd sell your own mama for a good enough business deal, wouldn't you?
I can't believe you're talking like this.
If we get married, you'll just have to get a Ubangi interpreter, because every time somebody tries to make me go for the okie doke, my European education lapses, and I lapse into ghettoese. You know, like Portuguese, Lebanese, Pekingese.
Stop it! You're getting hysterical.
We don't get hysterical, us African types. We go mad, stark raving mad.
What's been wrong with you lately? Look at our hands. Yes, they're different colors. We always knew that. Lately, you seem to take every opportunity to point out our differences. What about how we're the same, Nzinga? What about how we're two lonely people looking for happiness? In the past month, you've implied several times that I'm a bigot, a redneck, and a slaver. I'm none of those. I could never fully understand the depth of injustices accorded to your people. That's why I wanted to become a lawyer, to correct some of the imbalances in this society. I wasn't any good at criminal defense. My first case was a young Hispanic fella. My preparation wasn't good enough, and the judge needed a scapegoat. He threw the book at that kid for something that wasn't all that bad. Had he been guilty, which I still believe he was not. I had botched up so badly that I couldn't even appeal. When they were transferring him back to jail, he broke away, still handcuffed, and ran right into traffic. He was hit by a tractor-trailer truck and killed instantly.
Oh, David, you never told me that before. I'm sorry.
I'm no crybaby or bigot. I do what I can in corporate law and make sizable donations where I think they can truly help. I don't want you to ever forget that my people weren't even in this country when your people were brought here as slaves.
But you came here of your own accord. You earned money and amassed wealth while we got nothing for our labor. When my people made their first penny, your people showed up to sell them something that cost 2 cents.
Yes, that did happen sometimes, and I'm sorry. But my family fled here to escape the threat of the prison camps. On my father's side, only 2 people from his entire family survived.
I know all about Hitler. And you want to know what I think, David?
Yes. What do you think, Nzinga?
I think I want some fried chicken.
Why are we fighting?
I don't know. I think it's because I feel so damn guilty lately.
We knew it was going to be hard. What's happened to your courage? Do you hate all white people so much that you can't love me? Do you want me out of your life, Nzinga?
I'm sorry, David. I'm sorry. It's just that things have changed. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm so confused.
There. You can tell me whatever is troubling you, and I promise I'll make it all right.
You can't make it right, David. You can't.
Well, we'll talk. At least you'll feel better sharing your worries. Sometimes they're not so bad once brought to light.
Let's not talk about it anymore tonight. Would you like some coffee or tea to go with your chicken?
You know what I really want?
No, what?
Just to be with you. It's been a long day. Let's go to bed.
David, I don't quite feel like...
I don't care what you say. I'm not leaving you alone in this state of mind tonight. Now, come on.
David is loosening his tie and unbuttoning his shirt. He heads toward the bathroom. All of a sudden, we hear the sound of bells and whistles. Young Nzinga is startled as she suspects that the grandmothers are watching, but she is unable to see them. Her suspicions are confirmed when grandmothers Elizabeth and Miranda appear, invisible to Nzinga.
Miranda? Well, leave me alone. Do you hear? Mind your business.
We've got to do something.
No physical contact with mortals, remember?
When David leaves the bathroom, he walks over to Nzinga, who is visibly frightened.
Nzinga, come close. Let's pretend the earlier part of tonight never happened. Let's pretend it's the first time we're together.
When Grandmother Miranda suddenly raises one hand into the air, the sound of lightning and thunder occur, compelling Nzinga to scream.
Darling, it's only a thunder shower. You're just too overwrought. Calm down. Why, you're shaking all over. Come here. Everything is all right.
Elizabeth and Miranda employ tinkling handbells to manipulate the movements of Nzinga and David. Miranda uses a beckoning gesture to get David to leave. Elizabeth uses a gesture to keep Nzinga away from him.
I don't think so, David. It's no use. You'd better go.
With the tinkly bell, Miranda rings the bell around David's head, forcing him to pick up his jacket and head toward the door. He turns and looks back at Nzinga.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Nzinga walks to David standing at the door and kisses him good night, while the grandmothers immediately look away.
Good night, sweetheart.
Good night.
As Grandmother Miranda follows David out the door, shaking the tinkly bell around him, she takes a moment to give Grandmother Elizabeth the high five. It is the same night, perhaps around 2:00 in the morning. The bedroom light is on, and Nzinga is quietly talking on the phone.
Hello? Mother Peterson. Oh, how nice to hear from you. Has something happened to Walter? That's a relief. You sound funny. You're not feeling well? Sounds to me like a doctor should have a look at you. How long has this been going on? Where's Walter? What's he doing in Canada? Oh, I see. Well, he's single and way over 21. Look, I don't like the way you sound. I'm coming over. Don't be silly. It's no trouble. I'll be there soon. You just stay in bed.
It is a few days later in the apartment. Young Nzinga is in the bedroom. The doorbell rings.
Come on in. It's open.
A moment later, young Nzinga rushes out of the bedroom to the living room just in time to see Walter enter through the front door. He is indeed dressed immaculately in a dark suit with a light-colored overcoat hanging from his shoulders. He has a scarf around his neck and his hat is tipped to the side.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah, Walter Peterson, remember? Since when do you leave your door unlocked?
Since I was expecting someone.
That can be dangerous. Anybody could walk in here.
They just did.
Okay. I just came to thank you for looking after my moms. That's all.
Thank goodness it was just the virus. In the emergency room, they gave her a shot and some antibiotics. She's not old by any means, but she should be checked on from time to time.
That was the first weekend I've had off in months. She insisted I go away. Did me a world of good, too. Canada is a clean place.
I'm really not interested in a travel log.
When the doorbell rings, they freeze.
Aren't you going to answer your door?
Uh-huh. Aren't you leaving?
Yeah, in a minute.
Well, what else do you want?
Just to express my appreciation.
I think nothing of it.
But I think a lot of it. That's my mom's.
Young Nzinga and Walter stare at each other. The bell rings a third time.
Come on in. It's open.
Walter, please. No violence.
David enters. He is wearing jeans, sneakers, and a parker. His face is red from the cold.
Nzinga, are you all right?
Of course I am. Walter was just leaving. Tell Mother Peterson I'll call her soon.
So, this is Walter.
That's right.
Walter, please.
I'm David Siegel.
Walter stares at David.
So, what brings you here, Mr. Peterson?
This your apartment?
Walter!
No. But...
Shut up!
Walter!
Now, just a minute. Walter?
While staring at David, Walter resumes speaking to Nzinga.
I'll tell my mother what you said.
Right, right. You tell her. I'll show you to the door.
Don't bother. I'm a rather intelligent black man. Besides, I used to live here. Remember?
I remember.
Walter exits quietly, closing the door behind him.
Now, what the hell did that mean? What's he doing here?
Nzinga is staring at the front door.
Nzinga?
Huh? Oh, excuse me, David. I have to go powder my nose.
David grabs Nzinga's arm.
Oh, no, you don't. You stay right here and explain this stuff.
She stares at his hand until he removes it.
Walter came by to thank me for taking care of his mother the other night.
Damn it! I knew that was going to cause trouble.
Trouble? What trouble? Really, David, you're overreacting. Sit down, I'll get you a drink.
Nzinga walks as if she's in a trance and pours a glass of wine. They both sit at the table.
Nzinga, I don't want you seeing that man.
I'm not seeing him, David. I told you that already.
I don't like him being here.
He's not here.
What was that?
Nothing. Come on, I thought we were going to the park. Let me get my jacket.
All right. But I want to discuss this further.
Come on, you're the one who said how healthy a winter walk could be. Personally, I'm the warm weather type.
Nzinga, stop trying to fluff this off. I'm feeling some insecurities in our relationship right now.
Now I have to deal with this crap.
I don't even feel like going to the park anymore.
That's fine with me, David. What say we stay home where it's cozy? Take off your jacket and we'll play house. Is that what you want?
Lately, I can't tell when you're serious or not. Do you really want to make love now?
Now, what do you think?
Nzinga, you people, you have such a horrid personality. I guess I'd better have a walk in the park first. Sort of spark up my hormones.
Yeah, that's me. Torrid. Just call me hot chocolate. On second thought, don't you ever call me hot chocolate.
It is the next evening. Carrying her books, Nzinga enters her apartment, looking agitated and troubled.
Grandmothers, I never meant to insult any of you. You're all I can think of, dream of. Every time David tries to touch me, I hear Miranda's voice and see Walter's eyes. What am I going to do?
A sudden ringing of the phone, and Nzinga answers it. It is David.
Nzinga? Nzinga?
Yes, David, I just got in.
Did you have an extra class tonight or something?
No, I didn't have a class. I had to go to the library.
Nzinga, are you trying to avoid me?
I'm not trying to avoid you. I'm trying to get an education.
Are you seeing that Peterson person, Nzinga?
I haven't seen Walter in over a month. I told you that before.
We haven't been together all week. Don't you care for me anymore?
Yes, I care about you. I'm just tired.
I could come over and give you a nice massage, rub all the tiredness out of your body.
A rub down sounds good. It really does. But can I have a rain check? I'm just going to bed tonight, alone. We'll have dinner later on in the week, okay?
Well, you get some rest, sweetheart. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Grandmother Layla enters unseen and watches Nzinga, who gets a piece of paper, a pen, sits on her bed, and proceeds to write.
Dear David, oh, what can I say? You are a beautiful, generous, and caring person. I really do love you as a human being. I'll always be grateful for.
It is the following evening in young Nzinga's apartment. She comes out of the bathroom, takes the phone off the hook, and sprays cologne on her wrist. Then the doorbell rings.
Just a minute.
She opens the door and Walter enters.
Thanks for coming over, Walter.
Yeah, well, I had an appointment not too far from here, so it wasn't no problem.
Can I take your coat?
So what is it, Nzinga? You need somebody to put down tonight? Or what?
How are you, Walter? Would you like to sit down? How's the job going?
Job is just fine. I bet you thought I would have quit by now.
No, I never.
Well, everything is fine. Thank you.
Walter lights a joint.
I thought that maybe enough time and events had passed between us that we could now have a serious conversation.
About what?
You and I? About us?
You must be y'all. You and Wavy Davy. Because there ain't been no us for a long time now.
That's all over. I told David that I couldn't see him anymore.
So what am I supposed to do? Cut a flip?
I should have known better than to think you'd be sensible.
And I should have known better than to come.
How could I have ever dreamed of a reconciliation with...
Look, Miss Liberation, reconciliation? You got to be joking. I was on my way to Little Eva's house. I just stopped in to see what kind of game you was running. You know why I don't have no car yet?
Yeah, because you blow every penny you get on reefer.
Wrong. It's because I want a brand new car, not a used one. I don't want nobody's leftover nothing. You dig?
Get out. Get out, Walter.
Hey, I was never even here.
Walter abruptly leaves, and Nzinga sits in the chair, lays her head on the table, and begins to cry. Suddenly, Grandmother Miranda appears, still invisible to Nzinga. She is carrying her tinkly bell and parasol, which she bangs on the table.
Go after him. Go get him. Don't let that man go. He's got potential, promise, just like Benny had. It just takes patience and work. I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm going after him myself.
Grandmother Miranda walks to the door. Without touching it, the door opens. She goes out to get Walter, and in a flash, he returns. Grandmother Miranda is shaking the tinkly bell behind his head.
And another thing, Nzinga, I'm not sorry about what I said.
I'm not sorry about what I said either.
Suddenly, Grandmother Ludi May appears. She is also invisible to Nzinga and Walter.
Y'all are both hurt. Better learn to forgive. Put that aside and get on to the potent stuff. Y'all ain't gonna live forever, you know?
And in an instant, Grandmother Ludi May disappears.
You think sometime, when you're not in a hurry, you could come by and we could just talk? I mean, we don't do much of that. We just argue.
I guess we could talk. But you gotta listen sometime.
I listen.
No, you don't. It's always your master's degree, your promotion, your future. Let's talk about my career sometimes.
What career?
That rips it.
Walter heads for the door.
I'm sorry. Please come back. Let's just talk. Let's just sit down at the table and talk. We'll take turns, okay?
Me first.
Okay, look. I've got an idea. Let's set this timer for 3 minutes and we'll get equal time, okay?
You promise to shut up when the bell rings?
Yes.
No interrupting.
You either.
Walter takes off his jacket and puts it on the back of the chair. When they both sit, Walter relights his joint.
First thing I've got to tell you is that it cut like a knife when I heard you were sleeping with the slave master.
What about that woman you had in my bed? Walter Peterson,
You promised. As I was saying, I couldn't believe it. You was always talking about independent womanhood and race pride. You ain't sold out, Nzinga. Sold out for the American dream of charge accounts and big bucks. I don't care how much money you make or where you live. You are a deserter. You've deserted your birthright. After what black folks have gone through, I'd never heap that crap on them.
The timer bell goes off.
I just couldn't...
Oh, shut up. Shut up, Walter. Didn't you hear that bell? If I were a man, I'd kill you for talking to me like that. You've screwed up my entire life. You didn't respect me. You didn't want to marry me. Now you have the nerve to deny me happiness. I don't believe you could be so sanctimonious. You and your reefer smoking, bed hopping self. This was the dumbest idea. Just go. Forget the whole thing.
And Nzinga runs into the bedroom.
Nzinga, I'm not leaving. Not this time. You can't stay in that room forever. I've got something to say that's been choking me for months. You're not getting off so easy after causing me sleepless nights. When I finish this Columbia Gold, you better be back out here. If not, I'm coming to get you.
Walter leans back in the chair and takes 2 or 3 long drags. There is a sudden knock on the door.
If this is that dude, David, picked the wrong night for a rendezvous.
Walter walks to the door and swings it open. It is Grandmother Elizabeth. As she walks into the apartment, Walter is startled and tries to hide the joint behind him.
Excuse me. Can I help you?
I'm looking for my granddaughter, Nzinga. May I sit down?
Is she expecting you?
No, I'm just here on a short visit. May I sit down?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yes, ma'am.
Walter stubs out his joint and hurriedly helps Grandmother Elizabeth into a chair, to which she smiles.
She is in the bedroom. Do you want me to get her for you?
Oh, no. I'm sure she'll be out in a little while. Why don't you sit down and tell me who you are?
Well, I was sort of leaving. I wouldn't want to get in the way of you two visiting.
Nonsense. I don't get too many chances to talk to handsome young men these days. Don't deprive me.
Walter pulls out a chair and slowly sits.
No, ma'am.
Now, that's better. What is your name and how do you know Nzinga?
Well, I'm Walter Peterson, ma'am. I met Nzinga about 2 years ago.
Walter. I think I've heard your name before. Are you Nzinga's fellow?
Not anymore. That is to say, no, ma'am.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, you must still be good friends or you wouldn't be here visiting.
Well, to be honest, we were arguing.
Sometimes a good argument clears the air.
Sorry to say, this one didn't.
Want to tell me about it?
Maybe you could talk some sense into her. Do you know who she was thinking of marrying?
Yes, I do.
I guess that's okay with you, huh?
Don't jump to conclusions, Walter. I don't approve of that relationship. But, in all honesty, I'd rather see her happily married to any man, be he red, white, or blue, than abused and mistreated by a man just because he's black.
But
Hear me out. Do you have anything to offer her?
What? Hey, I love your granddaughter.
Love? Just what do you call love? Do you want to marry young Nzinga?
Now, come on. What is this?
Just as I thought.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I want to marry her.
What will you do if you marry her? Will you build a real future? Or do you only want her now because someone else does?
It's not like that at all. I've known Nzinga a long time. I used to live here, you know?
So I've heard. Why don't you tell me how you and Nzinga became involved?
I don't remember Nzinga saying you were coming.
She didn't know I was coming. Are you going to tell me?
Do you mind if I smoke?
I most certainly do.
Yeah, you and Nzinga's grandmother, all right. Well, I met Nzinga at a disco. We just took to each other right away.
How does your family feel about Nzinga?
You kidding? My mom loves Nzinga. She told me the first time she met Nzinga that I should marry her. The fellas on the block said she had a ring in my nose. I had a reputation of being a bachelor. I couldn't marry nobody. I was only 26. My mom said, suppose me and your father had felt that way. There wouldn't have been you or your brother. And I told her that would have been fine with me after what happened to baby brother. You want me to go see what Nzinga's doing?
Oh, I'm sure she'll be along in a minute. Tell me about the rest of your family.
Well, my old man, my father, died about 6 months ago. He had a stroke. You know, he ate salt and greasy food and couldn't control his temper. So one day, he just blew a fuse.
I'm sorry. You must miss him.
You're right. I do miss him sometimes. Baby brother got killed 3 years ago on a humble.
What about your grandparents, Walter? Perhaps I know them.
No, they all died a long time ago. Your granddaughter, Nzinga, found me in what looked like a compromising situation and accused me of something that wasn't even true. Then she threw me out. Now, grandmother, what is your name anyway?
Grandmother is fine.
Well, grandmother, Nzinga left home and stayed off her job for 2 weeks. I was so worried. When she came back, she wouldn't even talk to me. I figured if I was to better myself and get a good job, make her proud of me, then I'd come back and things would be different. Next thing I know, she's going out of the neighborhood to find a man.
What about your education, Walter?
My father didn't play about that stuff. I had to finish high school.
But Nzinga is working on her master's degree.
Look, Granny, no disrespect, but I've completed a training program. Now I am an assistant manager on my job. I'm going to buy into the franchise. You're looking at an upwardly mobile black man, not some chump.
You know, I believe that, Walter. You and so many of today's young black men are so misunderstood and misunderstanding. I believe that there is good potential in you, mostly due to the values that your parents taught you. White society looks upon you as creatures to be feared, locked up, and put away. Better yet, exterminated. You young men return their scowls and put downs with menacing behavior and foul language. Only those who love you can see the real value beneath the facade. You are all beautiful, young people with the potential for brilliance sent by God to change the world for the better. Racism and lack of opportunity in this country form the mold that you grow to fit into. You must fight this stereotype, Walter. It's not easy being black in America, but you can survive it all. The future of our people depends on it. Young Nzinga works hard for the better things in life, and she deserves them. Your parents put you up a rung on the ladder. Get it together, will you?
Who are you anyway? Nzinga doesn't have any people that I don't know, or at least have heard about.
I can't believe she never mentioned her grandmother, Elizabeth Robinson.
Yeah, seems like I've heard the name.
I've got to go.
Aren't you going away for Nzinga?
You are really the one I wanted to talk to. I'll be in touch with her later.
Grandmother Elizabeth walks to the door, opens it, and leaves.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Suddenly, Nzinga comes out the bedroom.
You still here?
I was just talking to your...
Look, I'm sorry. Can we try the discussion again?
Sure, baby. Sure.
Walter and Nzinga return to the chairs at the table and sit. He picks up the timer and sets it.
Would you like to continue? You have a minute left.
I'm disturbed that you are the one with the injured attitude towards me. When we met, I thought we could build things together, accomplish something. You seem so strong and militant.
The timer rings.
You weren't always so honest with me.
What do you mean by that?
It wasn't until much later that I found out about your social club. Lady friends were really from Alcoholics Anonymous.
I've explained all that.
Yeah, after the fact. But I listened. You haven't let me explain about Samantha till this day.
You're right. But I saw... I'll listen.
I swear to you, I never had anything to do with Samantha. I respected you too much to ever bring another woman around you. You see, Samantha was hot to trot. She had moved on me several times. To be honest, I was flattered. But my father told me never crap where you eat, so I wasn't about to fool with her. She was trying to sell me something I didn't want. I left the room and told her to let herself out. Next thing I know, she's in the bed and you're accusing me of something that I didn't even know about.
You trying to say you didn't know she was all stripped down in my bed?
I swear to you, Nzinga, I never invited the woman, never touched her, never wanted her.
Nzinga is staring at Walter, pondering about what he just said.
Well, it's all water under the bridge now. Whatever happened or didn't happen can't be changed.
Yeah, but I want you to believe me.
I don't know if I can do that.
Samantha even volunteered to tell you the truth.
If I ever see that whore again, I'm gonna snatch her bald-headed. That's what I should have done in the first place. Would have saved myself a lot of pain. Besides, you're talking on my time.
Sorry. I'm truly sorry. Go on. Well?
Don't worry, I'm thinking.
You're using up your time not saying anything.
It's my time. Can't I use it as I choose?
Fine with me. I just thought this was going to be a constructive discussion. My turn. I want you to know why it just killed me for you to throw me out and then sleep with the white boy.
David is not a boy.
Hush, it's my turn. You know, during slavery, the masters, the overseers, any white man could just walk into our cabin and send us outside and rape our women. Sometimes they stopped our women in the fields, and instead of a coffee break, they had a sex break. Black man couldn't do a thing about it. The ones who tried got themselves killed and a lot of other people punished. I felt like slavery times was back, but for some crazy reason, instead of feeling bad about the helplessness in your life, you was in love with the slave master.
David is not a slave master. He is a kind and generous man. And since when do you know so much about slavery?
I've had some time. So I've been talking to old folks and even went to the library.
I never thought You had been in a library in your whole life.
If we could talk to your grandmother, the one that's alive again, I bet we could find out a lot.
I don't have any living grandmothers.
Come on, Nzinga. You know the one with the little glasses on her nose.
What did you say?
She was here before. Robinson. That's the one. She said for me to just call her grandmother.
This is very cruel, Walter. Did you find something in the library about my grandmother?
Nzinga, I tell you, she was here.
Walter, she died when I was 5 years old. I told you I saw them all, remember? Now you've seen Grandmother Elizabeth.
Oh, shit!
Walter stands, looks at Nzinga, then runs into her arms. She embraces him as he looks around the apartment in fear. Suddenly, Grandmothers Elizabeth and Miranda appear.
Now look how silly they're acting. Now you've gone and done it, Elizabeth, interfering with living souls. There are rules, rules.
We've all interfered to save the race. How would I have got him to think or talk if I was invisible?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, we better go.
We can't leave now. These two are acting so stupid, who knows what they'll do next?
You might be right.
Walter relaxes his hold on Nzinga.
He sure acted stupid. There's got to be a logical explanation, so let's be cool.
There's really nothing to be afraid of. At least that's what I keep telling myself. Oh, Grandmother, are you still here?
Nzinga, now cut that out. She came in the door. I opened it. She went out the door. Now spirits don't do that.
Walter,
When's the last time you ate?
I can't remember. Yesterday, probably.
I haven't eaten either. See, that's what's wrong with us. We need some nourishment. Plus, I'm giving up reefer. It's starting to cause hallucinations.
I don't have much food. I haven't been shopping lately.
Let's go out for a quick bite. The walk and the air will do us good.
Walter opens the door, and to his added shock, David is standing there. Waving a blue envelope, he rushes past Walter and Nzinga into the apartment.
Nzinga, I've got to talk to you.
What the hell?
You mind your own business, Peterson. This is between me and Nzinga. Nzinga, after a long, hard day, I decide to make a quick check of my mail. Lucky me. I come across this blue envelope with your name and return address on it. I rip it open and read its content. This letter is not only ridiculous, but it is beneath you, Nzinga, to not tell me to my face after what we've been to each other.
Hi, David. Why is it beneath me? Why does everyone expect me to be so perfect? I'm just doing the best I can, and everybody expects me to be more than they themselves are. The fact is that I didn't have the courage to tell you face to face. Sometimes I'm weak, but damn it, sometimes I'm strong. I'm trying to get better. I never wanted to hurt you, David. I cared too much to intentionally do that.
Walter steps between David and Nzinga.
Pardon me for breaking up this salt and pepper Romeo and Juliet moment, but I think it's time you took a hike. Sight of you makes my blood boil.
Why is that, Walter? Explain that to me. Is it because in the end you know that I would take better care of Nzinga the way she deserves? Give her things you never could. Is it because I've made my commitments while all you can do is swell up and holler? Is it because I'm more of a man than you are, brother?
Walter backhands David, who falls against the table. Nzinga grabs Walter's arm as he moves toward David with his fist balled up. Suddenly, Samantha steps through the open door.
Nzinga! I'm glad you're finally home when I come to visit.
All attention is instantly diverted to Samantha. David rubs his hand across his bloody nose. Nzinga is swinging on Walter's arm, trying to restrain him. Samantha is standing in the middle of the floor, chatting as if nothing is going on.
Nzinga, there was nothing between me and Walter, I swear. But to be honest, honey, you're going to have to shape up if you expect to hold a hug like Walter. By the way, who's the white man with the bloody nose?
In an instant, Nzinga lunges at Samantha and the two women are wrestling on the floor.
Nzinga, are you mad? Get off me, woman!
I'm going to mop up the floor with you, you low-down skank.
Stunned, the men move toward the women and separate them.
Well, I damn sure am glad I'm moving out of here next week, you crazy bitch!
As Walter is holding Nzinga back, David is helping Samantha gather her things.
Living next to you two is like living in a zoo.
Living next to you is like living in a whorehouse.
Is this how you people live?
Who the hell asked you, turkey?
Well, you came here and started it all.
And now I'm going to finish it.
As Walter attempts to assault David some more, Nzinga tries to restrain him. Samantha sees her chance and slaps Nzinga on the head.
Ouch!
Now, all four are scuffling. Suddenly, Grandmother Elizabeth turns to Grandmother Miranda.
Grandmother, do something. This is awful.
I'm not getting myself in this mess. Look at them brawling like wild animals. At least young Nzinga tried to do the right thing.
So you really do love her?
Of course I do. She's mine, isn't she? She's just so familiar. She's reminded me of somebody.
Are you ready to leave?
Not until the last round.
Walter suddenly freezes.
Stop! I want everybody out of here.
What?
Not you, Nzinga. Go over there and sit down.
Just who do you think you are?
Sit down, I said.
Okay.
Samantha, thank you so much for coming to tell the truth and causing a riot in the process.
David, I'm so sorry. Can we talk tomorrow?
The hell you will. Right now, I wish you two would leave. And Nzinga and I want to be alone.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, Nzinga. But you, Walter, I'll see you in court.
David leaves, but does not close the apartment door.
Well, the door is open, Samantha. Use it.
Samantha leaves, slamming the door.
Why did you have to make me look like a fool and yourself a gorilla?
Look, Nzinga, I can't take no more of this crap. Let's get married. Settle down and try to act normal. What just happened is ridiculous for grown people.
Married? Are you kidding? You just started a brawl in my apartment.
Last time I looked, you were brawling pretty good yourself.
Did you see Samantha trying to keep that micro mini down?
Did you see David's expression where he landed on the table? Nzinga, I meant what I said, but you'll have to leave that job. I don't want you near David Siegel.
Quit my job? Well, how do you expect me to live? I've got to pay tuition, rent.
I said, marry me, Nzinga.
Walter, it will never work.
It will, if we wanted to.
You take absolutely no financial responsibility for anything.
You know how to manage finances. You can help me learn.
What? Did you say help you to learn?
Yeah. What's wrong with that? Isn't a spouse a helpmate?
Well, the best way I can help is by keeping my job. If you don't trust me because David works in the same building, then we're off to a bad start.
I do trust you, Nzinga. I really always have. Look, I had a few affairs when I lived here. Never with Samantha, because I was young and trying to live up to a street image of a sex machine. Now you've had David Siegel in your life, but that's all past. These visions or daydreams we've both been having have got to mean something.
You see, grandmother, they are paying attention.
Quiet. This is getting good.
Well, I don't know. I want to be financially secure. I can be poor alone. I make lists and plans, and I want to get my degree. And
What are you going to do with all that education? Work for some corporation forever? If you're so smart, let's build something together. Or at least something for our own people.
It takes money to live, Walter.
Any jerk can put his money in the bank every week.
You never did.
That's because I never worked regular enough to have any. I'm on payroll savings at work. I have a retirement trust, and in 3 weeks, I'll have my own franchise. Is that enough of a bride price? Or do I have to bring cattle too?
Walter, I couldn't stand another broken heart. Let's not rush into anything. Let's just take it slow.
What about David Siegel?
And my heart? I guess I always knew that it would never work out. I need to talk to him, though. Finalize things. He deserves that much.
Call him.
But Walter...
I mean it, Nzinga.
All right. In the morning.
Look, let's go get that food we were talking about before. I've sort of worked up an appetite.
Fine, let's go.
They leave and close the door behind them. It is the next morning. We see David sitting in what appears to be his office. An intercom buzzes, and David answers.
Yes, Sally? Line 1. Thank you. David Siegel. Nzinga. I thought we were going to talk over lunch. You're not coming, are you? Nzinga, we've got to talk after that brawl last night. No, I'm all right. Nzinga, I told you before that I didn't want gratitude from you. I didn't sleep last night. I thought this all out. It's my fault. I never should have pressed you into a relationship that I could see you really didn't want. You're resigning? Oh, I see. We were such good friends before we were lovers. Must I lose that too? Well, what are your plans? If you're not yet sure, Nzinga, take a little time. Darling, please. Think this through. You mean even if you don't marry Peterson? I see. All I could ever wish you is well. Nzinga, good luck. Nzinga, if you ever need anything. Goodbye, Nzinga.
David hangs up the phone, slams his fist on the desk, then buzzes the intercom.
Sally, bring me some hot coffee, will you? And Sally, make it black.
It is the following morning. Nzinga is wearing a kaftan and sitting on the settee, looking sad. Walter enters the living room. He is also wearing a robe-like kaftan. He has obviously spent the night.
Hey, look what I found. Can't believe you kept my robe all this time. I thought you had thrown out whatever I had left here, including the memories.
I couldn't bear to throw it away. It's so beautiful.
Did you make that call?
Yes. I'll fix you some breakfast. Aren't you due at work by 11? And I'd better start checking the want ads.
I'm not going in today.
Walter, are you going to start taking time off from work again? I mean, if you're going to be just like...
Didn't you hear me last night, Nzinga? I want to get married. We can get blood tests and take care of some of the paperwork today. Then we could go to Washington this weekend and share the ceremony with your family. Would you like that?
I don't know.
Nzinga, I promise you my love wholly and completely forever. I will always be here for you. Always, Nzinga.
I was always in your corner, Walter.
No more past events. We'll only speak of the future from now on.
I'll always be here for you, Walter.
I promise to cherish you and let no one or nothing come between us.
I promise to cherish you, Walter. You will always be essential in my life.
I work my fingers to the bone, build a secure future, and make you proud of me, Nzinga.
I'm already beginning to be proud of you, Walter.
Nzinga, I know I never told you enough, but I really love you, girl.
And I love you, Walter. I always did. Your little kinky-headed babies are the only ones I could envision in my life.
And I promise you lots of them.
I promise you 2, maybe 3 babies.
Are you ready to spend the rest of your life with me, lady?
Yes, I am.
Our children will be the children of promise, and they will step into the land of the free. You know, we almost missed out on our whole future together.
Yes, we almost missed the chance of a lifetime. Oh, Grandmother Elizabeth, thank you. Ludi Mae, thank you too. And Miranda, I love you. Oh, Grandmother Layla, I'll name my first girl child after you. And all praise is due to Grandmother Nzinga. May all your spirits rest in peace.
Yeah, wherever you may be. Thank you. Nzinga, come over here, girl. I got something private to tell you.
But I was going to fix breakfast.
I'm not hungry for food.
Walter pulls Nzinga by the hand, leads her into the bedroom, and they both lie down on the bed. All the grandmothers are suddenly present, and we hear the sound of tinkly bells and whistles.
Why y'all have to keep dragging me down here for?
We have some unfinished business here, grandmother.
We got them back on the right track.
We all helped do that, girl.
Look, over there, in the future, grandchildren. All praise is due to the Creator for preserving our people.
Amen. All praise is due to Walter and Nzinga. Our race will live on, yes.
The future looks so bright.
We all have to let go of the past.
I see little Shaka. He looks just like Black Betty.
I see little Layla. She radiates such peace.
Is he the one, grandmother?
No, Randa. Little Layla be the one who have to struggle to preserve the seed and suffer to bear the seed of our race. But the Creator will give her the strength to carry on. Randa, I say, she be the one, we be the one. We always be the one. And don't you ever forget it.
I told you. I told you. I told you that Nzinga would do the right thing. Yes, oh yes, that's my grandchild.
Yes, ours too, Elizabeth. She belonged to all of us.
Mothers, daughters, sisters, we all have one. This struggle is over because the job has been done. Let's lift our voices all together, make a mighty sound. Let's praise to the Creator abound, because we still got the power.
The power.
We still got the power.
The power.
The power.
African women, we be the one. African women, we be the one. Strive to be strong, strive to move on, strive to be free, still have eyes to see. I am an African woman, and we be the one. We got to build love, be love, show love. We come from love. We come from love. We come from love.
End of play. Well, my listeners, I hope that you enjoyed today's presentation of Nzinga's Children. I sincerely hope that there was something from today's story that resonated with you. If not, I hope there was something that you took away from this story. That is, some food for thought that will incite you to think about how your life's choices, from the most serious to the simplest or most mundane, can have an impact on others. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's NUNU Radio special broadcast of Nzinga's children. As you return to your daily habits, please keep in mind that everything we do does matter, and what we do affects others in some way, somehow. The voices in tonight's NUNU Radio special broadcast were Alicia Foxworth as young Nzinga Youngblood, Yehuda Carter as Walter Peterson, Johnny Mae Allen as grandmother Old Nzinga, Winterly Holland as grandmother Ludi Mae, Willie Ann Gissendanner as grandmother Miranda, Deborah Elizabeth M. as grandmother Layla, Karen Brown as grandmother Elizabeth, Lara Concordio as Samantha, Jeff Birchfield as David Siegel. In production, we have Francine Brown Wilson as director, Patricia Fields as director, narrator, and voice of messenger, Frederick Michaels as technical director. A very special thank you to Hajar Carter and Scott Williams for their sketches, Frederick Michaels for the AI photography, Nick Wilson and Frederick Michaels for the music, and original art by Scott Draves and the Electric Sheep. In the words of the Nigerian expression, acknowledging Veona Thomas and the ancestors. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. I'm your co-host, Patricia Fields. I bid you good night, stay safe, stay well, and above all, stay spiritually grounded.
We have come to the close of tonight's special presentation. Tune in next Saturday at this same time for our second and final rebroadcast of Nzinga's Children. Until then, be safe, be well, and be creative. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, this song always hits home because I grew up in a place called Savannah, Georgia. So you know Georgia is all.
Good evening. My name is Patricia Fields. 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 Good evening.
I should have just.
Well, thanks. Oh, man. Thank you.
We want to thank our listeners for attending our
wonderful presentation, or shall I say NUNU Radio presentation, of Nzinga's children. Nzinga's children.
Mute this. That's what I told you to do before. Yeah, now you can talk. Oh, well, it might not hear you.
Okay, so a bit of a technical
yeah, let's just
glitch here.
Let's just. Thank.
And while my co-production partner and CEO of NUNU Radio is making some adjustments.
Thank everyone for hanging out tonight. Peace. Oh, I see.
And I'm just going to name a few of the colleagues that I know. I'd like to thank Niambi Steele, Winter Lee, Johnny May, a few others whose names I don't recognize, but that's okay. That's all good. Thank you so much for attending. And Frederick, would you like to say a few words? Okay, so Frederick is making adjustments technically.
No, I can't.
Okay, all right. So, yes, so Frederick is not able to say a few words because he's heavily engrossed in the technical part of things at the moment.
Oh,
okay. Okay, so as already stated, we will be doing our second presentation and rebroadcast of Nzinga's Children next Saturday, December 9th, same time, 7 o'clock p.m. Online access will be at 6:30 p.m. And if you loved tonight's presentation, which I hope you did, please tell your friends. If you didn't like tonight's presentation, please tell your enemies. Okay. All right, so without further ado, we will log off, and I wish everyone a pleasant evening and a fantastic day tomorrow. Until next time, good night.